Hi everyone, my name is Dara LaPorta and I am a two-time elite coach, 6-star diamond coach, and I want to make, can everyone hear me? I just want to make sure, if you're watching, post below. Okay, well I'm going to assume that you can hear me. It's kind of perfect that I'm following Lindsay, as intimidating as that is, because my background and story is almost complete opposite of hers, and I think she would agree with that. I grew up in a really wonderful family. I, just really almost perfect childhood, and I went to college, and at the University of Florida, I was a college athlete, and that's where I met my husband, or now husband, and he played professional baseball. And we got married, and then, so everything was perfect, right? So how did I end up here? Where did my story change? And I think what happened to me was that I really lost myself. I don't know if any of you have felt that way. When I was following Matt around, and he was chasing his dreams of playing professional baseball, we moved around a lot. I didn't have the chance to really build a career. I didn't have an opportunity to do much for me, where I felt like I was contributing. We moved 3 or 4 times a year minimum, and I really started to lose myself. I went from like the most confident, I feel, I was just such a confident girl in college. I knew what I was doing. I had passion and purpose and direction, and I knew God was in control, and He had great plans for me. And, fast forward about, like 5 years later, and it was like, I didn't even know what I liked to do for fun anymore. I didn't know what my dreams were. I didn't have any more dreams, and I just thought my personality had changed. I just thought that I just wasn't competitive anymore, and I just, was just really happy being Matt's wife. And that was it. And I thought that was going to be enough, and I thought that was okay. And maybe for a season it was, but fast forward to the very end of 2013, I had just given birth to my twin sons. So I had a 2-year-old daughter and twin sons, and Matt was injured and unsigned, and we were just obviously in a really vulnerable place. I was sad and scared, and I remember just specifically sitting on my couch, and I was feeding, double bottle feeding both boys, and Sienna was, dancing in front of me, whatever 2-year-olds do, and I felt like the thought crossed my mind is this what my life looks like for the next 18 years? And I hated thinking that. I hated thinking that. All I had ever wanted to do was be a mom, and now I was here, and that's how I was feeling. Those were the thoughts running through my head. I knew how blessed I was, but man, I didn't feel it inside. I wasn't feeling like me. I wasn't feeling fulfilled, and I was scared, and so I knew for me that I needed to start with my health and fitness. So I had heard about BEACHBODY from other friends, from Lindsay, and I was like, if I'm going to do these silly at-home workouts, quick backstory, I was a personal trainer. I had said I was a college athlete, so I don't think I really had a lot of belief in the programs or that it would work. But I also knew I wasn't going to make it to the gym, packing 3 kids into a car every morning to do that. So I was like, if I'm going to do these workouts, I might as well see if anyone wants to do them with me. Guys, that was my belief going into the business. Did anyone else tiptoe into this business? Did anyone else pretty much ready to press that cancellation button as soon as they signed up? Because I did. So many in this group seemed to start out with just unwavering faith, and they went all in, and they had a vision for their life in this business. Man, I did not. This business scared the crap out of me. I tiptoed into this business. I figured, I'll probably be able to sell some fitness products because of my background, but I'm definitely not going to be building a team. And then when people lose interest, I'll probably just quit the whole thing. That is literally how I felt about this business. So I sold some fitness products, you know, and I listened to my coach. Lindsay was my coach, and I was just like, all right, you know, I'll get on these calls. And these calls, you know, at the time they were the Bombshell Dynasty calls and the National Wake Up Call. And they annoyed me. Like, this is the place I was in, guys. They annoyed me, all the talk about belief and dreaming and vision and motivation. I was just like, yeah. Just tell me what I need to do to make a few $100. Truly, those were the things going through my mind. Nevertheless, I kept listening. I started reading personal development, which I also scoffed at and rolled my eyes at. I don't know who I thought I was, by the way, but geez. And I started reading personal development. I kept listening to the calls. And soon enough, it was all getting through to me. And soon enough, I thought, man, I actually think this could be more than what I thought it would be. I actually think, I could become, you know, a 6-figure earner in this business. I think I could really do this. And I promise you, that didn't come because all these people decided to join me. That didn't come because I had one really great month. It came because of listening to those calls and reading my personal development. I promise you, I was a very average coach until that point. But then I started believing little by little, and I started building a team, and I earned my second full year in the business. So I started January of 2014. My second full year in the business, I earned 6 figures. And it was just because of being faithful in the small things. It was not because I've never been a big recruiter and I've never had these huge numbers, but I was really, really consistent in the beginning. By the way, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income from the Team Beachbody coach opportunity. Each coach's income depends on his or her own efforts, diligence, and skill. See our Statement of Independent Coach Earnings located in the Coach Online office for the most recent information on our coaches' actual incomes. Keep that in mind. But let me back up real quick. So I didn't believe, but I started to believe. Here's what I did do. When I started my business, so those are all the things that I did wrong, right? Let me review. I tiptoed in. I didn't believe, so I didn't sign my spouse up right away. Dumb. I didn't reach out to family and close friends because I was like super embarrassed that I was doing network marketing. Super embarrassed. I didn't post about the business at all, about coaching. And I didn't lead my team with belief or vision. I didn't instill any vision in them. I didn't instill any belief in them. I just kind of was like, hey, here's what you do to earn some money. And that's all I did. So that's all the things I did wrong. So here is what I think I did right. I started reading my personal development even when I wasn't feeling it, even when I thought it was kind of dumb. I was listening to those calls. I did have a really great transformation. You hear it again and again. Be a product of the product. I had went from, like I said, I'd had twins back in October, and I was like at my pre-pregnancy weight by like April, I think. So I had a great transformation. That, of course, helped. I did start creating a social media presence. I did have a large warm market to start with, but I did not have any social media presence. I didn't post a lot at all. So, but I started building that up, and I started realizing it was such a fun way to connect with other people and definitely talk about more than just my Beachbody business. I didn't post about the coaching side, but I did post about the health and fitness a lot. I did hit Success Club 10 every single month. I did follow up with people. I was just really good at keeping my list of people and knowing who I needed to follow up with every month and get back in touch with and communicate with and connect with. And I did make the most of my time and focus on business building activities. There are a million calls, you know, on YouTube and the online office about what those business building activities are, but I had to prioritize my time really well. So it's kind of the second part of the call. Remember, when I started, my daughter was 2, and I had twin 2-month-old sons. My husband was not working at the time, kind of. He was unsigned, went to spring training, got released, and decided to go to Mexico and play for 6 weeks. So 2 months into my business, 3 months into my business, my husband left and went to Mexico for 6 weeks to play baseball, and I was there with my 3 kids, 2 years old and under. So exclusively pumping, by the way, for twins. So that was a blast. So I clearly, like, a power hour didn't exist in my little world. I had like 20-minute increments throughout my day that I could do anything. And working at night after the kids went to bed, that just wasn't gonna work for me. When they went to bed, I went to bed during that phase of my life. So 15 to 20-minute little pockets is how I did my business. That means I didn't have time to like chat in a lot of groups. I didn't have time to create the prettiest graphics. All of my posting was really raw, not very pretty, but I did the things I needed to do to hit Success Club 10. And hitting Success Club 10 is what built my business. And now I'm here. Oh, so I had all those kids, right? So then at the end of 2015, towards the end of 2015, that was my second full year in the business. So my husband's quit baseball by this time. He was starting a real job. He had started a real job in June of 2015. My business, you know, I was having a really good, 2015, so we were feeling good, and we're like, yeah, 2016, that's our year. Matt's gonna get really good in his business, and I'm kind of getting established in Beachbody. I'm gonna send the kids to school 2 days a week so I can have some time to do the business. In September, I found out I was pregnant with my 4th baby. So, I have not yet had a ton of free time to do this business, but I've made it work. I've made it work through a pregnancy with 3 toddlers. I've made it work now with 4 kids, 5 years old and under. And again, am I seeing the rapid growth that some have seen? No, but I've been consistent, and I still hit Success Club 10 every month. And that's how I got here. And I just, for the mom who's at home and who's lonely, you can do this business. You really can. And my husband, even though he, potentially could retire, he's not going to retire. So I'm never going to be the coach that has, a husband at home. I'm just never going to be that coach, and that's okay. I have to grow at the rate I can grow, and I have to be consistent with the activities that are important and make sure I'm really consistent at them. That's what's key. So I just want to review. I think I've already gone longer than I wanted to. I guess that always happens. But start believing now. I wish I would have believed sooner. It's fine that I built belief. It's fine that I built slowly. But gosh, I wish I would have went all in. I wish I would have signed up my spouse. I wish I would have rank advanced quicker. I wish I would have, and even now, can I be really vulnerable? Even now, I need to talk to my team more about belief. Even now, I'm learning what that looks like. I'm still learning what it looks like to cast a vision and instill that in my team, but start doing that now. Don't wait as long as it took me. Don't wait to talk to your family and friends about this and get them on board. The sooner they're on board, the sooner you guys are all doing this together. Again, if I had signed Matt up sooner, geez, my income would probably look a little different right now. Post about the coaching part. It doesn't have to be income related. You are having all kinds of small successes. Post about the business. Post about the fitness. Be all in. You can choose to be all in from this day forward. And, like I said, I'm still working on this myself. So watch these videos. Watch every single video posted in this group. This is like crazy group. That's why it's so intimidating to even do this call, because I'm still like admiring everyone else in the group. I'm going to be watching those videos along with you, and I'm going to be working on my belief and my vision, and you need to do it now. It is a choice to believe. Don't wait for the success to start believing. That's what I did. I waited. I kept waiting for this business to prove itself to me, and that wasn't fair. I think I could have grown so much quicker had I chosen to believe and chosen to be all in. So that's really it. Thank you for watching, and I cannot wait to watch the rest of these videos coming up in the next few days. Stay tuned. And again, thanks for being here. Thanks for letting me speak.